Hello again, friends. Welcome back to the Square the Circle Music Channel. It's your old pal Mage. That's right, that's me. We're here to talk about music appreciation and record collecting again this evening. I hope that's okay with everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I have been just on this kick in the last few days. Really excited about the weather getting better and the world kind of slowly opening back up again, and all of these musicians and artists that have been hiding away for the last few years are starting to like show us all their amazing shit that they've been working on the last couple of years while they've been locked in their homes. So I'm getting a real fire under my ass to get out and see some live rock and roll. So that's kind of what's been on my brain a lot recently. Last night, I did an episode about highlighting some of my favorite live albums, top 10 of my faves, and that was really exciting, really fun. So I wanted to kind of continue that thought, do another top 10 list for you guys this evening, but these are going to be live experiences that I myself have personally been a part of. And so I wanted to go through this list and share with you guys my top 10 favorite live shows that I've attended, and have the overall experience of it. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to highlight maybe why I specifically liked the show itself, or why I really liked the overall experience that I had throughout the entire evening of said concert or whatever. So that's the reasoning behind my top 10 of this. And yeah, let's just have a little chit chat about some of my favorite experiences, shall we? So again, I can't go too far without having to do the obligatory things, and you folks need to help me out. So you need to go over to, the Instagram, and you gotta visit me on Instagram and follow my shit, and say what's up, and scroll down in my history, in my video history, and like and subscribe to my channel, please. I'm trying to get 500 subs by May 1st, so I created a contest. Go to that contest video and watch my video and follow the instructions, and you may win a cool prize. So yeah, do all the things and stuff. Let's get back to talking about music. Again, a reminder, we're going to be talking about more live music experiences, but these are going to be experiences that me personally, that I have seen in my lifetime, and why I love them so much. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Pardon me while I wet my whistle. Number 10, starting with number 10 on the list. This was one of the more recent shows that I've seen before the world kind of like, everything kind of powered off there in early 2020. This was just about a year and a half prior. Me and my one of my best friends, Nick P, shout out, brother, love you, miss you. He called me up and said, "Hey, dude, you know that band Thou? Well, they're playing just up the road, 45 minutes up the road from where I live here in Eugene, Oregon, is our state capital, Salem, Oregon. So it's just a quick, shoot little drive, wonderful town." And the band Thou was blowing through. And for some reason, they decided to play Seattle rather than Eugene. Nothing against you. Did I say Seattle? I meant Salem. They decided to play Salem, and I just thought that was kind of a strange choice, rather than coming to Eugene, where I think, they may have had a little bit better of a turnout and been able to get a better venue. But yeah, they were touring with this amazing fucking band called Cloud Rat. I've mentioned them recently too. God, they're fucking sick. Amazing musicians, killer singer. Their overall vibe is just wonderful, and seeing them open for Thou. And like I mentioned before in this this scenario, and this what was happening that evening, it was just so quaint and so cool, and just to see such like, mind-splitting fucking killer black metal, show in a small, like, it must have just been a cafe that just kind of like boarded up the back of the house. and just had this tiny, tiny area, square footage, I don't know, not a lot. You know, there was only 25 to 30 of us, just shoulder to shoulder in this tiny place. And the band was right fucking here, and it was so fucking great. Everyone was so into it. The energy in the place was magnificent. It was, I don't know, just one of the best experiences I've ever had, because it just reminded me so much of my youth and why I loved going to see live music, and especially rock and metal and punk, those types of shows. Here in Eugene, Oregon, back in the 90s, we had a pretty good scene. There was some really great fucking metal and hard rock and punk rock coming out of this city, and guys would come through Eugene a lot. And even Springfield, dude, like Fugazi played Springfield, downtown Springfield, my hometown, which is a tiny little shithole of a city. But yeah, there was this place in Eugene. A lot of you folks, if you're from this area in Oregon, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. If you were hanging out in the early mid 90s, there's this tiny little place called Icky's Tea House. Same kind of scenario. It's just by day, it was a, like, you know, anarchists library spot, tea house for people to just come sit and do their thing, their Eugene thing. By night, it was the best punk rock you could see, you know, for hundreds of miles. And so, what a fucking cool place. That's what this show and this whole experience and the whole vibe of it just reminded me of that, you know, going down to Icky's Tea House in 1995 and seeing fucking Propaganda, you know, when I was like 15 years old. And fuck, I think AFI played there, and like a bunch of buddies that I went to high school with, and, you know, I'm old friends with, and guys that, of course, I really haven't really talked too much for, like, you know, I don't know, about a decade or more, but they had numerous different, you know, fucking awesome punk bands, and they used to open up for like big names, for like Redbone and fucking Cigar and whoever else. I don't know, but they were awesome. I'll highlight them again here in another video coming up soon. But what a fun show. Reminded me of those good old days. So yeah, that show in 2018, Cloud Rat opening up for the band Thou. Number 10 on my list, amazing experience. Number 9 on my list, another one of, like I was just saying, kind of one of those kind of like visceral, really intense experiences that kind of like reminded me a lot of my childhood, and when my brain and heart and everything was just kind of just getting plowed open, and it was just like, here's this amazing shit that, you know, it just captivated me and took hold of me and just changed me into the man I am today. And why I love what I love, you know, musically speaking, artistically speaking, you know, which is a huge part of us, right? Everybody, is kind of what makes you as a person. How humans can enjoy these types of things and coming together, and music, being surrounded by, you know, what makes your blood really pump. This is one of those groups. What a visceral, cool experience, but in a different light as what I was talking before about, just kind of like, you know, black metal in your face, rip you wide open. These guys really kind of like are an earworm, and they kind of get deep down in while you're watching them do what they do. This is a band that I really love called Dead Meadow. Dead Meadow played again here in Eugene, Oregon, at a really cool spot, actually right down there in that same neighborhood I was just talking about, that place called Icky's Tea House. It was on Blair Avenue in a neighborhood here in Eugene we call the Whitaker. And this place also in the Whitaker called Sam Bond's Garage. Fucking Sam Bond's Garage, cool place. And I saw Dead Meadow play there. When was that? It was like 2007. Yeah, 2017. And another group that I've highlighted in previous videos, a local Eugene band that I love, they're really fucking magnificent, called Ferns. They opened up for Dead Meadow. Again, I think my homie Nick P was there. I think he told me about this show, and we ended up going together. But you know, like I said, just a really cool, deep, psychedelic kind of experience. Even though I wasn't on psychedelic drugs, you know, it was still a psychedelic experience. You know what I mean? It just kind of peels open your mind like an onion and just kind of like gets in there like an earworm and just really takes you to a wonderful, you know, psychedelic, you know, introspective place. You know, and this was at a period in time when I've been clean and sober for 10 years, you know, and so at this point, I'm already like, been clean and sober for a long time. And it's just the music does that to me. It takes me to another dimension. Especially Dead Meadow. Everyone check out Dead Meadow if you like that kind of real cerebral, stony, psychedelic kind of. It's kind of doomish, but not really. It's not very doom. More of just kind of like, I don't know, psychedelic stoner rock. They're fucking amazing. So yeah, that's number 9 on my list. Really, really wonderful experience. Number 8, taking it to a completely different place here. Again, another Eugene show. This was probably the most recent, not the last show I actually saw, the last big show I actually saw in late 2019 before the world went, locked down. This was like summer of 2019. There's another venue in Eugene called Sessions Music Hall. And it's down on the corner of Willamette and 7th Avenue. And that place puts on some fucking great shows. Really cool show. I got to see Corey Wong at Sessions a couple years back. Man, that guy can fucking play. He can rip. Any of you guitar guys, if you're into funk, if you're into like, it's not really jam. It's not jam band. It's not jam music. It's really smart, jazz fueled, crazy cool stuff. But anyway, Corey Wong is most notorious for being the rhythm guitar player in a really funktastic, awesome group called Wolfpack. So if any of you haven't heard of Wolfpack and you like, insanely cool, funky jazz shit, you'll love the hell out of it. Wolfpack, spelled with a V, like Wolfpack, but it's German, Wolfpack. They're fucking great. But Corey Wong, dude, smoking guitar player. He's got such a cool, super cool vibe. He's just this skinny, nerdy, wears glasses, but just, oh man, the way he plays his guitar just makes me raging boner, raging guitar boner. Pretty fucking cool guy. And he actually did work on this solo artist, this woman who opened for him. He did the guitar playing on her album. I bought her album on CD, met her, had her sign it, totally blushed and had a big crush on her all night long. Her name is Phoebe Catis. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Phoebe Catis. I think she's English. She's from the UK and just kind of wanted to, came to America, wanted to get a career going, and had been touring around with Corey Wong all that year. Fucking sick, dude. What an energizing. I'm not normally that kind of guy who wants to go to like a jazz funk show and like dance and stuff and loosen up or whatever. I'm not I'm not really one of those guys that likes to loosen up. I take shit far too seriously, I guess, most of the time in my life, but you'll find me once a year. I'll do that. I'll go see Corey Wong and just fucking, I think, because I went to the show alone, and this was like, I had been, separated from my ex-wife for, like 3 years now. And I was just really getting used to just being single. And like, I can drop what I'm doing and go see a show at midnight in Eugene if I want to, and that's what I did. And it was a fucking magnificent experience. So yeah, being 40 years old and going out and just kind of shaking your ass by yourself in the corner with a soda water. It's like, you got to do that. I don't know. I've learned that about me and everyone else. Sometimes you just got to be yourself and not worry what people are going to say, right? So yeah, number 8 on my list, Corey Wong. Everybody check out Corey Wong. That guy fucking rips. Incredible. So he's not just doing that stuff like playing with other people and playing in Wolfpack. Like he has a solo career. He just goes by the name Corey Wong, tours under his name Corey Wong. And I think, what's the name of his band? The something notes. It's a funny play on words. The Wong Notes. What it is. Corey Wong and the Wong Notes. I played a Wong note. Yeah, funny shit. They're magnificent. Everybody check them out. All right, I'll move it along down the line here. I'm gonna get a little sip on my bubbies real quick. Number 7 on the list. Another one of those, Pacific Northwest artists that I've talked about a whole lot. They were, instrumental in the formation of this guy, of me, and, what I like and why I like it. And just a really kind of cool, intriguing, artistic, fun group, fun band, interesting character. Talking about Isaac Brock and his Modest Mouse, and all the guys, you know, the original band, the original three, Eric Judy and Jeremiah Green, was that his name, the drummer, and Eric Judy, magnificent bass player, and, you know, instrumental in creating a lot of that early Modest Mouse music that we grew to love. But I discovered that shit, you know, 98, 99, Lonesome Crowded West, and I was like, what is this? This is so fucking weird, but I really like it, and I really associate with it, and I really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get kind of weird here for a second, but, you know, without being offensive or strange, you know what I mean? Like what hip hop culture is to, you know, black people in America. That's what Modest Mouse is to guys like me. You know what I mean? Rural white dudes who just kind of grew up in kind of a shit town, you know, in the Pacific Northwest America, where everything around you is just kind of decaying, and the sky is always gray, and your feet are always fucking wet, and something always stinks. You know what I mean? Like, it always smells like creosote and fucking farts in the air, you know? Garbage and farts, and that's just your life, and everything's gray, and it's like, that's what Modest Mouse is to me. And so I liken it to, like, you know, what you get from folks who like grew up in like LA, you know, and it's like everyone just listens to hip hop, and everyone's really sunny, got a sunny personality mostly. But yeah, I think you get where I'm trying to go with this. But I've seen Modest Mouse a fucking handful of times. I'm talking about specifically the first time I saw them. It was in 99, I think. It was in 2000. I have some notes here. It was in 2000. It was the first time I saw them. It was right when they had released, or they were about to release. I think they released it in like late 2000 or 2001, but it was The Moon in Antarctica. Of course, probably their most famous work, what really shot them into the stratosphere as far as fame, you know, and fortune for those guys. Good for them. The Moon in Antarctica was just an amazing album. I don't know. That shit just changed me. And being just a 20-year-old kid, it's like, I get this, you know, this is me, and I am that. You know, it was really great. His real just like sardonic, tongue-in-cheek, you know, it's poetry. He's really great with words, and all of his just kind of fun, just like innuendo and sarcasm, and just what an interesting fucking character. If you guys have never really seen any interviews with him or just like checked out what he does, and he's just kind of all over the place. He's his publishing company, you know, Ugly Casanova Publishing, and then he's created record labels. He has the Glacial Pace record label. He does tons of shit. I don't know, man. Sorry, this is turning into a Modest Mouse appreciation episode, but that show just changed me. I saw him in Portland at one of those McMinimans joints. If anyone knows the Pacific Northwest at all, you know who the McMiniman brother, I think they're brothers. The McMinimans places, they're everywhere, all over Oregon, and I think a few in Washington too, right? But they take old historic buildings and sites and places and just turn them into funky, cool, fun like venues, and, you know, beer halls, and great food, great drink, you know, great atmosphere, awesome music. They have a great spot on, where is it? Is it on Cooch Street? Oh, it's somewhere up there, but I think it's kind of like central east Portland. But anyway, Crystal Ballroom's fucking really fantastic place to see some music. Cool old historic theater. So yeah, that's number 7 on my list. Long-winded story about seeing Modest Mouse for the first time. I bought a 7-inch. I did. I was always buying records when I was young. At that point in time, I didn't even have a turntable, but I knew, like, I had collected when I was a kid. I collected, you know, shortly thereafter. So I would always just get records, and I know, like, one day I'm gonna quit drinking and doing drugs, and I can buy a good record player. I bought a little 7-inch. They did this funny, like, 7-inch single in like 99, 2000, and what was it called? It was called like the Life of Arctic Sounds, I think it was called. Yeah, something, just a little single. One side had the song Medication, and this is the part of me that needs medication. Great, yeah, great little 7-inch. Kept that for years. It's worth like a couple $100 now or something. Okay, I'll move it along here. Where are we at? Number 6. Wow. Whew. I'm gonna try not to talk for a half an hour about this one too, guys. Sorry. I also have talked about this on my show before because I'm really proud of this moment in my life. But fuck, I was just a kid. And I got asked by some dudes I went to high school with that were a little bit older than me. They're about like, most of them are anywhere from 2 to 3 years older than me. So I was 19. They were like 21, 22. They wanted me to play drums in their band. We had a band called On the First Day. No, that wasn't that band. That was the band Nick was in. We were called A Gift Given Curse. That's what we were called. A Gift Given Curse. And we got to open up. We were asked to open up with someone else. I can't remember who. Supporting, but we were like the third act, the openers, and we opened for Neurosis, dude, on their Times of Grace album tour, 1999. They blew through Eugene. Somehow somebody knew somebody, and we're friends of friends, and like, hey, we got a band, like we're in the same vein, we're similar, and we got the spot, and we fucking opened up for them at the historic John Henry's bar in Eugene. Its first iteration. It's undergone, newly, rebuilt, different locations. It's on its third iteration. It just reopened, but this is the original John Henry's on 11th Avenue in Eugene, and fucking got to meet all those guys. And I was only 19 at the time, so they had a green room way in the back of the house, up in a loft, like which used to be like a sound booth and light booth, and they didn't do that anymore. They just had everything on the ground floor there. And if you were under 21, you had to go hang out up there. It was like a green room, basically. There was a couch, there was a little window that you could like peer through so you could see the stage, but the door bouncer was right there, and he just made sure that you weren't fucking around. So I just sat up there and smoked cigarettes, and after I played, watched Neurosis, and it was fucking sick. Actually, later I snuck to the bar. They weren't paying attention anymore. Like, the night was pretty much over. It was like 1 o'clock. I was watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast and drinking dark beer at age 19. It was pretty fucking cool. I felt really fucking cool that day. That's probably the coolest I've ever felt. So just opened for Neurosis, watched them fucking slay, and then was like, my 19-year-old ass was just tanking dark beers at the bar. Really cool experience. So that's number 6. Should be higher, right? This is fun. I like talking about my favorite live music experiences. This is really cool. Oh man, this one's great too. I don't have a lot to say about it because I don't remember a ton of it. This was at a point in my life when I was really abusing drugs and alcohol very heavily. So I'll shoot you guys straight. I'm human. And that's what I was doing when I was 27 years old. Like a lot of people do when they're 27 years old. You think you're the coolest guy on the fucking planet. And I do remember this show, but it was pretty fucking legendary and pretty awesome. So I'll just chit chat with you about it real quick. They play at this historic place again in Eugene, Oregon, which used to be a Workers of the World Union Hall, so WOW Hall, and really cool, like all wood floor, real great place. I've played it numerous times. Everybody that has been in a rock band in Eugene, Oregon has played this place. It's really magnificent. But I saw that band I've talked about, Phantomas, which is like the Melvins mixed with Mike Patton from Faith No More. And then actually it's I guess it's not like Melvins mixed with everybody, because it's actually more of no, I wouldn't say it's more of Faith No More either. Anyway, the guy who plays bass, he's the guy from Mr. Bungle. And he's also done other stuff with Mike Patton, Tomahawk maybe, or something like that. Mike Patton sings, and Buzz Osborne from Melvins plays guitar. Does a lot of the, songwriting, I'm sure, at least kind of like, the skeleton of everything you can tell is it's very heavily Melvins. It's very Melvinsy. But dude, Dave Lombardo drums. He's one of the older drummers from Slayer. It's fucking so amazing. It's so intense. And Mike Patton just doing what he does best, and just all of his crazy chirps and just his crazy vocal stylings just all over the place. Really like orchestrated metal. It's insanity. Everybody check out Fantomas. Obviously, spelled with an F, not a PH. But yeah, Fantomas. And the strangest thing ever, opened for Fantomas was just a spoken word kind of comedy, kind of political satire, interesting little thingamajig. Jello Biafra, the famed frontman for the Dead Kennedys. He was there. He was touring, and just they were touring together, and he's like, "Hey, can I do my shtick before you guys rock?" And that's what it was. It was just fucking Jello Biafra's shtick. Before watching these guys just fucking blow everyone's fucking minds wide open musically. It was great. Yeah, 2007 at the Wow Hall. Just one of the most chaotic, wild experiences I've ever had. Pretty fun. That was the night I met Dale Crover and Buzz Osborne from the Melvins. Because Dale Crover was there. He sat in on like half of their tunes. They were both drumming. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to remember because I've seen Melvins so many times too. I've seen Melvins at least 3 times. Maybe that's when I met them. It wasn't after the Fantomas show. It was. Never mind. Sorry, everybody. I'm getting things mixed up. I've seen Melvins so many times too, but I met Dale Crover and Buzz Osborne behind the Wow Hall. I was just like rambling, drunk, smoking, talking to Dale Crover, like being a stupid kid. And he was not. He tried so hard to be fucking cool to me. And he just played a killer show, and he just wanted to relax. I wouldn't let the poor guy relax. Dale Crover is such a fantastic drummer. Okay, well, that's number 5 on my list. Number 4, hard to beat. Getting up there now. This is some legendary shit now. The realm we're getting into. I mean, not really. I never got to see like Neil Young or Tom Petty, or I never got to see Chris Cornell, or I didn't see Nirvana. But this guy to me was fucking legendary, and I can't thank my father enough for introducing this guy to me, because I kind of knew of him when I was younger, but only because my father spoke highly of him. And he just made my dad laugh, and he's just so fantastic. My dad took me and bought me tickets. When was this? I wrote it down. Oh yeah, it was a while ago. 2004. He blew through Eugene. My father got tickets for us at this wonderful place called The Shed. The Shed Art Institute. It's like an old Catholic church, a really big Catholic church that they converted into a show venue, a big hall, to see music and other such traveling acts. But anyway, we're really dragging this one out. Pop bought us tickets to go see Leon Redbone. My man, Leon Redbone. Love the shit out of him. Like I said, my father introduced me to him. Not personally, I mean the music and how fantastic, and just if anyone hasn't checked out Leon Redbone and his outstanding career, I think he passed shortly after I saw him. I think maybe like 2010 or 2011. I don't know, I might be wrong. Someone I'm sure will fact check me on that date, but he passed, and just wonderful Americana, American jazz, ragtime, interesting, just, it's hard to really put the guy in a box, but if you love stuff with a personality, yeah, you'll love Leon Redbone. Type of, show, it's really comfortable, nice, just relaxing evening. There was only, 300 or 400 individuals in the place, and just quiet. Dude just kind of walks out on the stage. It's dark, everyone claps, and he just sits down in an easy chair and lights up a cigarette. a guy in a bow tie and like a suit comes out and pours him a glass of bourbon, and he just turns on this light, this little lamp that he has next to his chair, and he's just got his guitar, stomping his foot, singing his fucking awesome songs, and telling jokes in between and shit. It was such an intimate, wonderful evening. I had such a great time, me and my dad. We laughed, we cried, it was great. Such a wonderful experience, so thanks, Dad. And yeah, everybody check out Leon Redbone. He's great. Okay, guys, here we go. Top 3 of my favorite live experiences that I've ever had. This was a big one for me. My mother bought me this ticket. She knew how much I loved these guys. It was just a present. I think it was a birthday present. Yeah, because I had turned 18. I loved these guys all throughout, my youth, middle school, high school. They had been playing together for like at least about 6 or 7 years, but there was a big, nasty hoopla. You guys all remember this horrible thing. Well, my favorite hard rock band, ever since I was a kid, is Pearl Jam. And everyone knows about that ridiculous fucking legal mumbo jumbo that they had all throughout the mid 90s and into the late 90s with Ticketmaster, and boycotting and taking them to court and just all this crazy shit. The only fucking large venues that you can get in Oregon are all, under the under the fucking insane, sick umbrella that, Ticketmaster just has a stranglehold on everything. They truly did have a fucking monopoly. And so basically Pearl Jam didn't come to Oregon for fucking 6 years at all. They didn't even really come to the Northwest. They wouldn't even fucking come to their hometown of Seattle because they couldn't book an arena anywhere. They couldn't book a big enough show. And I mean, everyone has their own opinions on what happened with that whole thing. I don't give a shit what the fuck your opinion is on that thing. I just, they were my favorite band growing up. And I never had the ability to be able to go see them. It was fucking depressing. And then finally they worked out I don't know what it was. Something happened, and they found a large enough ticketing company, booking company, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know how the industry works. Someone who would do the whole thing for them. They could make their millions, but they played the Portland Rose Garden in 1998, and my mom bought me a ticket, and I got to go see them. Even not cooler, but even as cool. Not really someone that I was like really super stoked about at this point in time. Like, I'd had a girlfriend, my first girlfriend to be exact, and she dumped me. And she was really into Frank Black, really into Pixies, and especially Frank Black. And I don't know, Teenager of the Year was a pretty good album. But yeah, he opened up for Pearl Jam at that show, with his, Frank Black, his band. It wasn't Pixies. It was all right though. It was cool. Yeah, funny story too. I served Frank Black an omelet. Frank Black has had a house in like just outside the Eugene area, somewhere like up in the hills, in the South Hills of Eugene. He's had a house out there for decades. I think he raised his family here in Eugene, Oregon. Frank Black, the famous singer of the Pixies. Yeah, I was working this place. This is the Broadway Market. I was cooking, but I also it was like deli style. So if you ordered a fucking omelet on a Sunday morning, you're getting served by your cook, and that was me, the only breakfast omelet cook at the joint. And he had a Greek omelet. I served a Greek omelet. Actually, it was a Greek scramble and a Greek omelet. His wife and I switched them up accidentally and served him the wrong one. But yeah, I served Frank Black a fucking omelet. It was pretty cool. So yeah, there's another little famous run-in I've had. But yeah, that's the third grade. It was just like I was alluding to in the beginning of this rant. Pearl Jam's always been my favorite rock band, and I was just on another planet. I was on cloud 9, seeing your favorite band finally, even though you're like literally just like 2 football fields away from the band. I could barely even see them. My, 18-year-old eyes, I was just like, all the guys are this big. I was just way the fuck up in the far, far, far. It's a huge fucking Coliseum. So, but they fucking rocked. It was amazing. They played a lot of my very, very favorite songs. This was on the tour, 98, so that was Yield. That was the Yield album. A really great fucking album. One of their more underrated albums too, in my opinion. People just kind of had forgotten about Pearl Jam by that time. 98, they were already kind of ghosts in the rock music world. So I got to see them again too in 2000. That was pretty cool. So yeah, those guys are great. All right, I'll move it along here. Number two on the list, to be expected from anyone that watches my videos, knows anything about me. This show changed my fucking life. Really, really changed my life. Oh man, this was hard. I wanted to put this as my most favorite experience of live music ever. But yeah, I'll leave number one where it is. I saw Tool. I've seen Tool 6 times, but this had to have been the 4th time I'd seen them, third time I'd seen them. And it was a really difficult turning point in my life personally. And they had just released 10,000 Days, which is my favorite Tool album. And yeah, that shit rewrote my DNA. I can't even say anything. We were actually really close. I went with a huge group of my friends, really close friends. One of our closest friends in this big group of this circle of friends that I had, one of our best friends had just died that year. And so this was 2007, and he had just passed the year before. And we all got together in Portland at the Coliseum, which is a smaller venue right in the Rose Quarter next to the Rose Garden, where the Portland Trailblazer basketball team plays, where they used to play in a much smaller arena, which is kind of really right next door to it. They call it the Coliseum. That's where I saw them. We were really fucking close. There's the main floor, like the pit area where rich kids get to go. But then only maybe 10 fucking rows back with chairs, I was on the aisle and I was losing my fucking mind, guys. I was absolutely losing my mind. This is the greatest progressive metal rock, art rock album ever created. And I'm seeing this show, their visual performance at this point in time, 2007, was just off the fucking chain, out of this fucking world. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because I hadn't seen them since the Anima tour in 97. Had it been a decade since I'd seen them? It's true, because I didn't see them on the Lateralis tour. They came to Eugene in 2001 when they released Lateralis, and they played the Holt Center in Eugene. I was out of town. I was touring drum corps. I was on a fucking bus all summer, but I was listening to Lateralis on the bus all summer. So yeah, I didn't see him for a decade. And then this was just kind of like a decade of just pent up aggression and everything just amassed and just kind of all came out. I was just out of my mind. I was out of my goddamn mind. It was so great. The security guard I almost got kicked out. He had to tell me 3 times to get the fuck out of the aisle and quit going insane, dancing and screaming, and just anyone that's been to a Tool show knows what I'm talking about. Everyone is just you're just experiencing everything that's happening. And of course I have their entire songbook memorized, every note of it by heart. One of those fucking creepy fans. But yeah, everyone can attest. My whole circle, my little sister, who is as big of a Tool fan as I am, was sitting right next to me, and we were both just going ape shit, and it was amazing. It was by far probably the best show I've ever seen. Second best show I've ever seen. Best experience. yeah, out of this fucking world. So there's that. Okay. I know I've been really just kind of like mumbling, guys. You're really good sports. But this is, like I said, just kind of like in the spirit and the theme of what I was talking about last night. Live music, everything's opening up again. Like, I just really wanted to just chit chat about some of these great shows with you guys. Some of the music I love. And now I'm going to do what I like to do and stop before the number one spot. And we're going to do some honorable mentioning. I always have to do these honorable mention things. It's just kind of a part of me. It's in my DNA now. So I like dragging you guys through the mud with me. It's torturous, I know. But this one, it's really great because I have to talk about it. I went with my younger sister and her boyfriend at the time. In 2016, we drove down to Sacramento, California, which is quite a drive from where I'm here. I'd say roughly about 7 hours. Not too bad. Got a hotel room, stayed for the weekend, and we went to that Aftershock Festival. It's just a big festival in a huge ass park in Sacramento, which is amazing. And this was like at the very end of the summer, so everything was starting to die and it was all dried out and everything was just like super flammable. And it's just, yeah, it makes perfect sense, right, guys? Yeah, and so the Aftershock Fest, they do it every year. This was 2016 for the whole weekend. We fucking saw, oh my God, I can't even, it's impossible to even remember all of it. But yeah, starting in the daytime, some of my favorite new music that I had not just discovered, but music that I had really grown to love over the years. I saw the band Whores play for the first time. Fucking love them. Next up, Baroness played. I had already been listening to Baroness for like a couple years and they were just fucking amazing. Also in the day, there was some other punk bands that played. I can't remember. It wasn't No Use for a Name. Who was it? It was something like that. It was one of those like, leftovers from like Fat Records and like the Vans skate punk summer tour. Like, I don't know, one of those bands. But Deaf Heaven played during the day. Fucking who else? Of course, Pussifer. I kind of skipped Pussifer because I wanted to go see Avenged Sevenfold. And then I skipped Stained because I wanted to go see Meshuggah. And then I left, halfway through Meshuggah so I could go and watch Primus. And then I finished Primus and was just about ready, like out of my mind. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go see it. And I went back over and caught like the last 3 songs of Slayer. Got to see fucking Slayer, and I made it back in time to the main stage just at the very end of the evening to see Tool again for the 5th fucking time. And so, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like fucking Slayer, Meshuggah, Tool, Primus. Oh, there was so many fucking amazing bands. It was so great. Over it wasn't 3 days, it was 2 days. It was Friday night and then all day Saturday and all night Saturday. Yeah. Man, what an experience. So fucking cool. I'm usually not, I've never been like a festival guy, like all that shit. I'm not into that fucking horse shit at all. So this is really the first festival I've ever attended, and it was like absolutely amazing. So if anyone ever gets a chance and you're on the West Coast, dude, like go to the Aftershock Festival, the best in hardcore, metal, punk, everything that you can get. Super fun, and I wanted to bring up some other fun stuff here besides that and just kind of go through old ticket stubs. And these are all ones that I haven't talked about that are kind of honorable mentions, but more specifically, I don't remember any of these shows. I try to save all my ticket stubs. I don't always, I'm not always able to, especially when I was much younger. But yeah, going through these sometimes I'm like, fuck, I don't remember anything about this. Here's another Tool show. Another Modest Mouse show here in Eugene. No, that was the Crystal Ballroom one in Portland. Here's one in Eugene from the next year, from 2000. I don't remember that one at all. McDonald Theater, Modest Mouse in 2000. Don't remember that. Yeah, Government Mule. I don't remember that show at all. A couple times seeing Keller Williams. That was pretty cool. I remember one of them vaguely. Anyone who doesn't know Keller Williams, check out Keller Williams. Really fun, kind of cool hippie guy. Just does all of he's a loop station. He kind of invented that whole thing before it was like a real big deal, and there was a bunch of YouTube idiots just like having a monster career centered around their loop station. He kind of started that. He was doing that like 20 years ago. Like hippie dude takes his shoes off, has rugs on stage, just dancing around barefoot with his guitar and like singing drum beats, and just hits a loop pedal and just makes these great songs, you know, with a loop pedal and a guitar and his mouth, you know. Pretty fucking cool. Another Built to Spill show. Oh yeah, dude, I saw Brennan Benson in Portland at the Timber. What was it called? Yeah, just the Timber. When was that? 2010. I don't remember that show at all. But Brendan Benson's fucking great. I know I had a really good time. I'm sure I did. Every time I go to Portland, I went and saw the Sea and Cake in Portland. They were fucking cool. I don't really remember it very much though. Good music. This is a fucking cool one. I don't remember this one either. I got to see TSOL. True Sounds of Liberty. Fucking yeah. That was really cool. Sort of remember that one. So that's just some fun shit. I like going through that. The best show I've ever seen, guys. Number one. Yeah, that Tool show is hard to beat. But this one, yeah, another life changer, another game changer. So anyone that has been around the Pacific Northwest here in the States knows of a drive. You can drive the border of Oregon and Washington State. And the natural border between those two states primarily is the Columbia River. Well, the Columbia River got its start from a giant gorge to the northeast that was cut millennia ago by a giant glacier. And so it's this insanely fucking cool gorge, totally carved out of the, carved through the landscape by an ancient, glacial moving thing. And so as you're driving east up this dividing line between Oregon and Washington, up the Columbia River gorge, you just get to see this like amazing scenescape of, what the earth did to itself, millions of years ago. And it had carved out some of the most gorgeous, stunning landscape humans have ever really even seen. It's something to truly be marveled, to marvel at. It's Multnomah Falls. It's, research this. Google Multnomah Falls. It's just gorgeous. And then all the way up the gorge, it's just jaw-dropping scenery. You drive all the way up there, and then you head north across the river, and you go to a place called George, Washington, where there's an amphitheater called the Gorge. So yeah, you Nor'westers know what I'm talking about. Some of you folks that may have traveled here may have gone to see a show at the Gorge. It's probably the most beautiful music venue in the United States, save maybe Red Rocks or maybe just a few others. But yeah, it's just a monumental place to see a show. And I got to see in the year 2000 the very first tour that A Perfect Circle went on for their debut breakthrough album, Mare de Nom. And they opened up for 9 Inch Nails. That shit changed my fucking life. Pretty amazing. I also did some psychedelic drugs. That was also amazing. But when you're laying back on a grass lawn watching one of your favorite new rock bands absolutely murder you, I mean, in a good way, getting murdered in a good way, and the sun is setting directly behind them in hues of purple and orange and red that you've never seen before in the summer of 2000, going behind this giant God-created landscape that is just jaw-droppingly beautiful over this river. And it's just like, and then as you know, the hallucinogenics kick in, the lights dim. I mean, like, you know, the sun goes down, show is over, and then it's nighttime, and Nine Inch Nails proceeds to turn you over and fuck you 3 ways from Sunday. It was a life changer. Yeah, I won't babble on any further. That shit was absolutely amazeballs. We had to drive home that night. Dude, it's like, it's probably at least about 200 and, yeah, that's probably 200, 220 miles back home. We were gonna we couldn't find anywhere to stay. There's nowhere to camp. There's no fucking hotels out there. It's in the middle of the prairie. And I was just like, whatever, dude. You know, we're in a van. It's like me and like 2 homies and his girlfriend. And we're just like, oh, well, we'll find a place to pull off on a dirt road and sleep for a few hours. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm driving this van. I was sober by this time, but yeah, fuck it. I just drove the whole way home. Got home at sunup, you know, got home at probably about 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning. And my mother was home and she was awake and she was so fucking mad at me. And I was like, I was an adult. I was 20 years old, you know, and she still laid into me. Didn't really like give me the ear pinch, but she basically drugged me inside, and she's like, she was mad at me because I skipped my sister's graduation to go see this show. And so that also kind of gives it a little bit more weight, and why it was like, you know, such an experience, and just such a overwhelmingly emotionally, psychically, everything. It was just getting home at 7 a.m. after a night like that, and then your mother lays into you and you fucking skipped your little sister's graduation to go see some of your favorite rock and roll. Sorry, Miriam. But yeah, what an experience. Being young and going and seeing rock and roll it's so important, everybody. Any of you folks, you know, teenage years to like your mid-20s, if you have got nothing else going on in your life and you're just, you know, fucking off, just go see rock and roll. Travel to different places and just go see rock and roll. That's what you're supposed to do. That's my advice. Take my advice, kids. All right, everyone. That was fun. Thanks for letting me, you know, gab at you, and thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Scroll down, check out my video history, do the contest. I want to get 500 subs by May 1st. Let's do it. Go out and see some live music. Have a great time. So that's all I got for you. Peace be with you, y'all.